90-year-old villager ticketed after hitting bicyclists on Morris Boulevard. Villagers with Little White Cross not hopeful heading into mediation session. Huge Hobby Lobby store on track to open later this year. Ohio driver with F. Biden on his license plates headed wrong way in Roundabout. A teen driver from Mexico arrested after caught driving without a driver's license. Golf cart snatched from garage in the Villages. A new chief physician named for UF Health, the Villages Hospital. Man tied to infamous beating death at Town Square in the Villages is in trouble again. This and more coming up. A renter from Ohio has been arrested in an alleged attack on his wife who is suffering from Alzheimer's disease. Kenneth Walter Harry, 81, who has been staying in a rental unit in the Haven Villas in the village of Finney, was arrested this past week after a nurse witnessed an alleged attack on the patient at Villages Rehab on County Road 466. The nurse reported seeing Harry applying force and pinning her head against the bed. The nurse also saw Harry using an open hand to slap the woman on the arms and legs. Harry also told his wife, "I'll break your legs. I'll bust your teeth." A second witness also entered the room and saw what was happening. Harry's wife told nursing personnel that he had been abusing her for years, and she is afraid of him. The director of nursing at Village Rehab told police that the woman has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. This is why it's important to get your doctor to diagnose whoever you're taking care of with Alzheimer's. There are certain laws that come into effect because a doctor has legally diagnosed her. When police interviewed Harry, who was identified by his Ohio driver's license, he claimed the nurse mistook what she saw. He claimed his wife was a fall risk and had fallen earlier in the evening. Harry was arrested on a charge of domestic battery. He was booked at the Lake County Jail and released after posting a $500 bond. He has also been banned from the Villages Rehab. A teen driver from Mexico was arrested after he was caught driving without a license. Jose Felipe Pacheco Bautista, name will be on the video, 18 of Fruitland Park, was driving a white Honda passenger car at 11 p.m. Friday northbound on U.S. Highway 27 and 441 when an officer noticed the car did not have a tag light illuminating the license plate. During a traffic stop, the officer learned that Pacheco Bautista, who is a native of Mexico, did not have a valid driver's license. He was arrested on a charge of no valid driver's license. He was booked at the Lake County Jail and released after posting a $500 bond. The son of a couple in the Villages was arrested after he was caught driving a vehicle with a license plate which had been reported stolen in Colorado. Timothy James McEwen, 34, who lives with his parents at 1303 Trinidad Court in the village of Santiago, was driving a white truck shortly before 6 a.m. Tuesday on El Camino Real when he was pulled over for a non-functioning tag light, according to the arrest report. When the deputy informed McEwen that the Colorado license plate on his truck had been reported stolen, McEwen claimed the plates belonged to his ex-girlfriend. He said they had recently broken up and he was not aware she had reported the plate stolen. A further check revealed the truck was not registered in Florida. McEwen also admitted he does not have a driver's license. Jesus, does anybody have a driver's license anymore? The Colorado Springs native was arrested on charges of theft, driving while license suspended, and failure to register a motor vehicle. He was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center on a $2,500 bond. Thanks, Mom and Dad. An Ohio driver with F. Biden license plate caused a commotion after turning the wrong way into a roundabout in the Villages. I just don't understand this at all. Why is anybody turning left in a roundabout? The white Dodge Challenger at 2:30 p.m. Wednesday made a left turn into the roundabout at Lake Sumter Landing and Morris Boulevard. The female driver encountered other vehicles traveling in the opposite direction and apparently realized her potentially dangerous mistake. With the other drivers frozen in place, the Dodge Challenger with an Ohio license plate on the rear tentatively began to back up. The driver made a hard left and began to travel north over the bridge over Lake Sumter. The Dodge Challenger then entered the left turn lane at Morse Boulevard and County Road 466. Apparently realizing her mistake, the driver put the vehicle in reverse and backed up. She then gingerly traversed 2 lanes of Morse Boulevard before entering the right turn lane. She made a right turn onto County Road 466 and sped off eastbound. An 86-year-old villager has been ticketed in a crash that snarled traffic on County Road 466 near the village's charter school. He had been driving a gray 2018 Chevrolet Impala 4-door at 12:58 p.m. Wednesday northbound on Belvedere Boulevard when he rear-ended a gray 2017 Hyundai Sonata driven by 48-year-old Lady Lake woman who also had been northbound on Belvedere at County Road 466, according to the accident report from the Florida Highway Patrol. The force of the collision pushed the woman's car into the intersection and into the path of a gold 2008 Chevy Tahoe driven by 27-year-old Ocala woman who had been eastbound on County Road 466. The 86-year-old villager's car also continued into the intersection and collided with the Tahoe. The 86-year-old was transported by ambulance to Ocala Medical Center. He was ticketed on a charge of careless driving. The 48-year-old woman who had been rear-ended was transported by ambulance to Trailwinds ER on County Road 466A. The driver of the Tahoe was not injured. Well, at least not physically, but they were injured financially. I know how that works. An unlicensed teen from Nicaragua was arrested after running a red light. Luis Aria Ruiz Vasquez, 19 of Orlando, was driving a white Ford pickup at 7:50 a.m. Saturday northbound on U.S. Highway 27 441 and disobeyed a red light when he made a left turn on the County Road 466A, according to the arrest report. During the traffic stop, an officer was able to communicate with the Nicaraguan-born Ruiz Vasquez with a translator application on his phone, and with help from a bilingual Lake County Sheriff's deputy. Ruiz Vasquez did not have a Florida driver's license despite living for the past 2 years in the Sunshine State. There were 4 passengers in the truck Ruiz Vasquez was driving. None of them had a license either. The owner of the truck was called to pick up the truck and the passengers. Ruiz Vasquez was arrested and charged with no valid driver's license. He was booked at the Lake County Jail and released after posting a $500 bond. He was also issued a written warning for a failure to stop at a red light. A golf cart was snatched from a garage in the Villages. Kimberly Form of the village of St. Catherine said her garage doors were down and the thief apparently broke in through a back door. The incident was reported to Wildwood Police Department. Foreman said she fears the golf cart's appearance may have already been altered and the golf cart may have been repainted. In addition, a plaque memorializing her deceased Cavalier King Charles Spaniel was stolen from her front door. I just don't know what's happening to this world anymore, where people feel like they can just take what they want and not have to work for it like the rest of us did. Dr. John M. Davidiak has been named Senior Vice President and Chief Physician Executive at UF Health Central Florida effective June the 5th. UF Health Central Florida includes UF Health The Villages Hospital and UF Health Leesburg Hospital. Davidiak has held an array of leadership positions in the community and academic medical center settings. He most recently served as Vice President and Chief Medical Officer for the Polk region at Baycare Health System. In addition, Davidiak also was the Associate Chief Medical Officer and Chief of the Hospitalist Medicine for Advent Health Central Florida Division in Orlando, and prior to that was the Intern Associate Chief Medical Officer at Temple University Hospital, Episcopal Hospital in Philadelphia. I just hope that he does something about our emergency room at the Villages Hospital. I've never had to go there. I've never personally witnessed anything there, but I've had 100 reports of people telling me that the Villages emergency room is the worst. That's all I know. painting contractor in the Villages has been apprehended on a felony charge. Jason Melville Garway, 48, who lives in the village of Calumet Grove and operates Garway Painting Incorporated, was driving a black Chevy Silverado pickup at about 9:30 a.m. Thursday in the area of County Road 466 and Chula Vista Avenue when an officer ran the vehicle's license plate and learned the vehicle's registered owner has a driver's license that was suspended last year, according to the arrest report. The officer followed Garway's pickup and initiated a traffic stop at Miller's Ale House on U.S. Highway 27 and 441. Garway said he was not aware that the license had been suspended. Garway has previous convictions for driving while license suspended in 1999, 2005, twice in 2008, 2010, and 2013. He was arrested on a third-degree felony charge of driving while license suspended. He was booked at Lake County Jail on a $5,000 bond. His truck was towed from the scene of the traffic stop. How many times do you get pulled over before they finally just throw away the key? A villager who threw a beer at a fellow resident at the Sawgrass Grove Market has completed an anger management course. Caroline Richard, 58, of the village of Citrus Grove, submitted proof this week in Sumter County Court that she has completed a 4-hour anger management course. Completion of the course means prosecutor's office will not pursue a charge of battery against her. Richard had been in the bar area at the Sawgrass Grove venue during the Super Bowl when she was provoking other bar attendants, according to the arrest report. Richard had an unleashed large breed dog, and a woman, while a leashed service animal, asked Richard to keep her dog at a distance. Richard refused to do so. A verbal dispute ensued. During the argument, Richard threw a full beer in the other woman's face. A third-party witness, not acquainted with either of the women, offered an account to police, backing up the woman who had the beer thrown in her face. The other woman did not retaliate. Listen, if you got a dog and you go anywhere where there's a lot of people, short leash it. You know what short leashing is. You can't let them roam free out around here, not in the villages. A huge Hobby Lobby store is on track to open later this year in the Villages. The 55,000 square foot store is under construction at Buffalo Ridge Plaza. Longstanding real estate partner David Imovic of Katz & Associates worked with Hobby Lobby's Matthew Abnett to secure the location at Buffalo Ridge Plaza. The new store in this fast-growing community is exciting for Hobby Lobby and their customers, said Imovic, who has worked with Hobby Lobby to secure over 30 locations since 2013. The location is constantly ranked as one of the most requested trade areas for them to enter. That Hobby Lobby is eager to meet the demand with a new store in the heart of the Villages. Well, I know there's a lot of people that love Hobby Lobby. I can tell you I loved Hobby Lobby once. There's a long story about that that's funny. I'll tell you someday. Not here, be on Patreon or something, but I'll tell you that story about the day that I loved Hobby Lobby. A new recreation center is coming to the village of Newell. The Franklin Recreation Center will offer a resort-style pool, pickleball, tennis, shuffleboard, and bocce as outdoor activities. Inside the center will include a game room with billiards, darts, table shuffleboard, and arcade gaming. The village of Newell has been named in honor of Wilman Newell, who was the first plant commissioner for the Florida State Plant Board, was the University of Florida College of Agricultural director. His work helped eradicate citrus canker and other invasive plant species. He was inducted in 1996 into the Florida Citrus Hall of Fame. That's where a lot of our orange groves disappeared. People say that building houses, wiped them all out. And that's really not true. I mean, we didn't help. I mean, the fields are gone now. You can't replant them. What really wiped the orange groves, citrus groves, things out, and especially from central to the northern part of Florida, was canker. And they literally bulldozed them out and burned them. There wasn't nothing else to do. A man tied to the infamous beating death at a town square in the Villages is back in trouble. That'll be Spanish Springs when him, I believe 2 other boys, so it was 3 totally, and they knew another kid that worked at a restaurant up there, and I don't know what was said, what was done, but they beat the kid and he died in the town square. Nicholas Metcalf, 25, of Ocala, was being held without bond this weekend at the Marion County Jail. Metcalf had been sentenced to 6-month probation in the 2016 death of 26-year-old Austin Stevens, who worked at McCall's Tavern at Spanish Springs Town Square, the scene of the fatal encounter. Metcalf ended up pleading no contest to a charge of battery, which had been reduced from a felony to a misdemeanor. In 2020, Metcalf was arrested in Marion County after he was spotted throwing firecrackers from a Dodge Ram truck. Metcalf, who claimed he'd consumed 2 beers, was arrested on a charge of driving under the influence. He was placed on probation. Earlier this year in Washington, D.C., Metcalf was arrested for unlawfully carrying a pistol. He also failed to submit last year to random drug screens as part of his probation sentence. After the 2016 altercation at Town Square, Stevens was initially taken to the village's regional hospital, but was soon transferred to Ocala Regional Medical Center, where he died of injuries suffered to the head. Metcalf was the only person punished in that case. Just think about that. I feel sorry for his mom and dad. Of the person that got beat to death. 2 of them got off scot-free for whatever reason, minors probably, and this guy gets 6-month probation. Their boy's dead forever. Things like that just make me sick. Things are beginning to take shape at the future home of the Cordoba Recreation Center at the former site of the Hacienda Hills Country Club. The Cordoba Recreation Center will feature a resort-style pool, pickleball courts, corn toss, a pavilion, and a walking path. All of the amenities available at the Cordoba Recreation Center will be available to all residents of the villages and not limited to the residents of the villas being built. A golf pro shop will also be located at the site. Residents are eager to see progress at the site as a temporary postal facility has closed plenty of hardships for longtime residents. Residents are also concerned about traffic in the area. I don't blame them. The Hacienda Hills Country Club was demolished in 2020. The country club closed in April of 2019 after it was dogged with complaints about poor service and mediocre food. He demolished $1 million building because people was complaining about the food? I don't believe that. An emergency shutdown by the health department appeared to have been the last straw. I suppose if you need an excuse. A villager's son has been sentenced after he was found passed out at the village's polo club. Michael Scott Griffin, 53, pleaded no contest last week in Sumter County Court to a charge of driving under the influence and driving while license suspended. He has been placed on probation for 1 year, has lost his license for 6 months, and was ordered to perform 50 hours of community service. Griffin had been found on the night of September 14th behind the wheel of a red SUV 2017 Kia. With a Florida disabled veteran's license plate, he was passed out and found by a woman who called 911 according to the arrest report. Griffin told deputies he had taken his father's vehicle to get away from his father's home in the village of Glenbrook. Griffin said he needed a chance to cool off. A villager has been formally charged with stealing $27,318 from her employer. Formal charges against 55-year-old Julie Shepard of the village of Delmar were first filed last week by the prosecutor's office of Marion County. She was arrested in April on warrants charging her with multiple counts of fraud. She continued to be held this weekend at the Marion County Jail on a $63,000 bond. The New York native is being represented by a public defender's office, which has entered a plea of not guilty on her behalf. Shepard had been working as a bookkeeper at Perfect Deed Homes, a family-owned home construction business in Ocala, when it became clear in November that something was amiss, according to the arrest report from the Marion County Sheriff's Office. The owner of the company contacted law enforcement when Shepard did not make a routine bank drop. Shepard told her boss she forgot to make the bank drop, and Shepard made a call to the front desk clerk asking her to make the drop-off at the bank. A senior employee intervened as it was not common practice to have the front desk clerk make the bank drop. The company owner examined the bank pouch and discovered a forged check. The owner went to the company's QuickBooks account software, and the fraudulent scheme began to unravel. The total loss of the business was $27,318. A villager will escape prosecution after a tussle with his manager in a UPS delivery cart. The prosecutor's office announced earlier this month in Sumter County that 57-year-old David Aaron Clement of the village of Anita will not be prosecuted on a charge of battery. Clement completed a 12-hour anger management course on April 12th, according to the document on file in Sumter County Court, prompting the prosecutor to move forward with the dismissal. That's an update from a report that we done, I don't even know, a couple months ago. A couple with a little white cross in their yard are not hopeful a mediation session will bring a resolution to their fight to keep their cross at their home in the Villages. Resolution. There's no such thing as a resolution. They want to win. Wayne Anderson of the village of Tamarind Grove said the mediation session slated for 10 a.m. Tuesday, May 30th, with his attorney and an attorney for Community Development District 8 is expected to last about 4 hours. It is not clear what either side could offer to end this stalemate. CDD 8 maintains the little white cross is a lawn ornament and therefore its placement in the Anderson's front yard is a violation of deed restrictions. Wayne Anderson and his wife Bonnie insist that they will not remove the religious symbol. The two possessions don't appear to offer much room for compromise. A trial date has been set for August 14th. You're going to open Pandora's box on this. A villager has been sentenced to 30 days in jail after he failed to complete his DUI school. Daniel Lee Messerschmidt, 63, of the Villages of Bonita, was sentenced last week in Sumter County Court after pleading no contest to a charge of driving while license suspended. He completed a 30-day sentence on Friday at the Sumter County Detention Center, where he had been lodged since April 29th. During the traffic stop that day, a Wildwood police officer confirmed that Messerschmidt's license had been indefinitely canceled on April 19th for failure to complete the DUI school. After he was involved in an accident the wee hours of December 17th on Morris Boulevard, Messerschmidt was ordered to complete DUI school. When a trooper went to interview Messerschmidt at the emergency room, it appeared he had been drinking. He failed field sobriety exercises and provided breath samples that registered .105 and .100 blood alcohol content. Edna's on the Green. The wildly popular outdoor dining and dancing sensation will be ditching the food trucks for more permanent surroundings. When Edna's on the Green debuted in 2019 near the Cattail Recreation Center in the Villages of Marsh Bend, it provided a much-needed oasis for new residents to gather at picnic tables under the live oaks for food and a little music. The friendly atmosphere, great wine, and welcoming staff made Edna's on the Green a bit of a hit. The Edna's Provisions and Victual Truck was soon joined by Tubby's Treat Truck, which offered flatbread and ice cream. The owners of Edna's on the Green, Jonathan, JT, Tubby, and his wife, Jordan McDonough, recently announced that the food trucks will be making an exit to provide more permanent food preparation space for the staff. However, the construction work will not slow down the party at Edna's on the Green, where food will continue to be offered and the drinks will flow. The Edna's for whom the eatery is named are in honor of McDonough's two grandmothers, both named Edna. One of the grandmothers operated a grocery store and the other operated a supper club, both in Beaver Island, Michigan. I see in this one picture right there, that's our old buddy Scooter the DJ. We interviewed him on WNL. June 1st is a kickoff date for the Friends of Sozo Kids $10,000 matching challenge campaign. All financial gifts donated between June 1st to June 30th will be matched dollar for dollar through the generosity of several anonymous donors who collaborated to donate $10,000. These donors are challenging other donors to meet the challenge of raising another $10,000. Funds raised from this matching challenge campaign will go toward purchasing 1,300 backpacks fully loaded with specific school supplies to ensure Sozo kids have what they need to be successful in the 2023-2024 school year. The fully loaded backpacks will be distributed to children living in poverty in the Ocala National Forest at the annual Sozo Kids Back to School Bash August 5th. You ever wonder, all these little things that people do around here for charity, they get all this publicity in the Village's Sun paper, which is owned by the developer, by the way, and all this other stuff, but yet we collect all this money every year for the Children's Wish Foundation, and nothing's ever said. Nothing's ever printed. There's nothing ever done to kind of help us out to collect possibly maybe a little bit more money for the kids. Never happens. You ever wonder why? A 90-year-old villager has been ticketed after hitting a bicyclist on Morris Boulevard, sending him to the hospital. The Village of Charlotte man has been driving a silver 2021 Volvo utility vehicle at 10:28 a.m. Tuesday, northbound on Morris Boulevard, when he hit 64-year-old Palo Alto man riding a bicycle, according to the accident report. The bicyclist had merged into the northbound turn lane and was attempting to make a left turn onto San Marino Drive when the Village of Charlotte man failed to slow down down, veered left, and tried to overtake the bicyclist. The report said the right front of the Volvo and the passenger side mirror hit the bicyclist, knocking him to the pavement. Bicyclist was transported by ambulance to the Ocala Regional Medical Center. The Village of Charlotte man, who was not injured, was ticketed on a charge of careless driving. In 2020, a 71-year-old Village of Chatham woman was riding a bicycle when she collided with a landscaping tractor on Morris Boulevard. She was airlifted to Ocala Regional Medical Center, where she later died. That area up there on Morris Boulevard, I'm telling you, it's just dangerous. Populations grow here, traffic grows on that same area, and it's just getting worse. My recommendation around here, especially during snowbird season, I wouldn't ride a bicycle on any of these public roads around here, because this sad story. A man and a woman have been found dead in an apparent murder-suicide in the Villages. Sumter County Sheriff's deputies responded at 10:03 a.m. Tuesday to 635 San Pedro Drive in the village of Rio Grande for a well-being check. While checking the residence from the outside, deputies spotted a person lying on the floor inside the home. Entry was made into the residence, where a man and a woman were discovered deceased from what appears to be gunshot wounds. The sheriff's office indicated it appeared to be a murder-suicide. The sheriff's office has not released the names of the two individuals who were found dead. The home has been owned since 2019 by 71-year-old Philip and 70-year-old Karen Malloy. This is stuff that nobody around here likes to talk about, and I'm sure it doesn't happen just here. This is the second or third one that I know of since I moved here full-time of a murder-suicide. That's what they call it. And you can just imagine in your mind of what's going on, probably. Another sad situation. A Texan was arrested at a town square in the Villages after allegedly slapping a woman's butt on the dance floor. Oh, come on. That's funny. A woman completed a sworn statement attesting that she was dancing with a friend Monday night at Spanish Springs Town Square with 54-year-old Josh Doyce Harger, grabbed her arm and slapped her on the buttock, according to the arrest report. She told police she did not know him. A representative of the village's entertainment department requested that Harger be banned from the square. Harger said that is just who he is, and he likes to high-five people. Harger initially told police he left his identification at home. He also claimed he has not had a government-issued ID since 1999 in Texas. Well, that's suspicious. It's just things that I've seen and noticed is when somebody don't have an ID and say they've never had an ID, they got something to hide. A villager was arrested after allegedly pointing a gun at a woman's head. John Mark DiStefano, 73, who owns a home in the village of Alhambra, was arrested early Saturday morning on a charge of aggravated assault. A 44-year-old woman broke a window on the side of DiStefano's home and attempted to enter the residence, according to the arrest report. He pointed a gun at her and ordered her not to enter the home. The woman's daughter witnessed the incident. The gun DiStefano had allegedly pointed at the woman was found in the home. The New Jersey native who was arrested earlier this year on a charge of driving under the influence was taken into custody and booked at the Sumter County Detention Center. He was released after posting a $10,000 bond. Now, wait a minute. Something here don't sound right. There's got to be more to the story. This guy's at home, in his home. A woman breaks the window, tries to enter his home when he tells her not to. He gets a gun and points it at her, says, get out of my house or I'll shoot you, basically. And you arrest him? I think we got the standalone law in Florida. There's got to be more to this story. A resident of the Villages has been arrested after he was caught behind the wheel of a car after losing his license in a drunk driving arrest in Michigan. Michael James Bolton, 26, who lives at 5129 Lawler Loop in the village of Marsh Bend, had been driving a gray Dodge Charger on Saturday morning that was parked in the middle of the parking lot at Target at Rolling Acres Plaza, according to the arrest report. Bolton was pulled over. When he attempted to drive away, he presented the officer with a suspended Florida e-learner's permit. A check of the driver's history revealed Bolton's license had been revoked for 5 years as a result of a drunk driving conviction in 21 in Michigan. Bolton was arrested on a third-degree felony, charged with driving while license suspended. He was booked at Lake County Jail and released after posting a $10,000 bond. A repeat offender with a Mexican passport was arrested after a traffic stop at a roundabout at Brownwood. Cristobal Gil Marcus, 21, of Ocala, was driving an orange 2013 Chevy Volt at 9:46 p.m. Wednesday, May 24th, when he was pulled over at Powell Road at Brownwood. When a check of the vehicle's license plate revealed the car's registered owner does not have a valid driver's license. Well, of course. During a traffic stop, Gil Marcos handed the officer his Mexican passport and admitted he does not have a driver's license. The officer recognized Gil Marcos from a previous traffic stop in April, in which Gil Marcos had been issued a criminal traffic citation for driving without a license. When the officer asked Gil Marcos why he was driving again, he stated he must drive so he could go to work. That is true, but do it right. The officer also noticed the odor of burnt cannabis emanating from the interior of the vehicle. Several marijuana joints and a small colored smoking pipe with the residue of marijuana was found in the vehicle. Well, I think that's going to be the news for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. And for those of you that aren't subscribed, please subscribe. It does help the channel out tremendously. And I just encourage all of you that you can watch this news every Thursday, a day earlier than everybody else, if you become either a YouTube member or become a Patreon member of mine. It's easy done. It's on the front page. The click buttons are there in the description box below. There's click buttons down there, how to go to Patreon. Underneath this video, there's a join button. Hit that join button. That'll take you directly to the YouTube membership page. You can sign up for as little as 99 cents a month, and anything I put on there is commercial free. But with that, though, I do appreciate all of you watching these videos. We also do porch sitting on Wednesday at noon. In case some of you don't know, it's live. You're welcome to come. You're welcome to come to the Porch Settings Live, and you can get in the comment box. You can talk to all the different people that's on there. You don't have to necessarily talk to me and Sue. There's people that come to this thing every Wednesday because there's friends of theirs that's on the chat box, and they get in there and they talk back and forth, and they just have a great time. Me and Sue love to know new people. So come to that. We encourage you to come to it. We enjoy talking to you. You got any special questions or whatever, any comments? That's the place to do it. So that being said, let's get out of here. Let's enjoy this great day we got down here. It's hot.
And don't leave your keys in the golf cart.